Hello, my name is Leonardo McClarty, and I'm the president of the Fayette Chamber of Commerce. And I'd like to thank you for joining me for this information session on our Leadership Fayette program. Obviously, if you have taken a few minutes to join me right now, it means that you have interest in Leadership Fayette, whether that is a program participant yourself or maybe even sharing the information with a colleague, an associate, or someone that you just think would be a good participant. And certainly we thank you for your interest. So over the next few minutes, I'm going to share some information about the program and how it works so that hopefully you'll have all of your questions answered and you can move forward with submitting an application. One of the things we always like to do is recognize our program sponsors, which are led by these three companies here in Panasonic Automotive Group, who is the presenting sponsor of the Leadership Fayette program, followed by Coweta Fayette EMC and Georgia Power. So a little bit about our agenda for today. We're going to talk a little bit about the purpose and history of the program, kind of what's in it for you as a participant, also the application timeline, the class schedule, as well as any maybe frequently asked questions, and then moving forward into next steps. But first, how does this program get implemented? It is by the people that you see here on the screen, led by Soretta Bean, who is the Director of Operations and Strategic Initiatives at the Chamber. Soretta will be the person that will be sending out most, if not all, of the correspondence related to the program days, where you're supposed to be, what time you're supposed to be there, what's the attire, what's the agenda, any related instructions to your Leadership Fayette experience. Also assisting Soretta will be Carrie Gunta, who was our events manager, and she will be handling a lot of our logistics in terms of food and other logistical activities related to your program days. And then also other staff member are David Conti, who's our Director of Membership Growth and Development, as well as Latricia Hughes, who's our Communications Manager. So a little bit about Leadership Fayette. The program was founded in 1980 by the Fayette Chamber. And so we now have a storied history of over 40 years with the purpose of providing participants with experiences that will enhance their knowledge of the community and provide opportunities to grow as citizens and leaders. Ultimately, what we wanted to do was take individuals that perhaps have some type of acclaim within the community, some type of influence, and really inform them about some of the activities, some of the challenges perhaps that are facing the county so that they can leverage that influence, leverage their maybe political capital, their network to be able to positively advance Fayette County. And so, as a participant, what's in it for you? Well, ultimately, we'd like to say that Leadership Fayette prepares the leaders of tomorrow. And really, I would say, in many respects, helps to further advance the leaders of today. This is an 8-month program, of which over this time, you will gain an in-depth view of the issues facing our community, further have professional development around the personal leadership skills that can make you, I guess, more self-aware of also yourself, as well as also, again, the opportunities to be involved in the county. Also, you'll have an opportunity to discuss key issues with various community leaders and subject matter experts. And then at the same time, you will be able to develop new, as well as even strengthen existing relationships with your peers. Everyone, certainly that goes through Leadership Fayette, while they may have a community interest, at the same time, we know there's also a business side of this as well, where everyone is looking to expand their network, expand their outreach, and so forth. So, what's the timeline? So, this is for the applications. And so, one of the things, depending upon when you may have found out about the program, you will know that we have extended the deadline this year due to some other just timing matters within the county and scheduling and so forth. So ultimately, applications opened actually March 3rd, but will go all the way until May 16th, of which that application process will open. And generally, what we just ask is that your application is submitted by the close of the business day. At the same time, if you submit your application and it's 5:30, 6 o'clock, this isn't a government proposal or something where, you're going to be penalized in the scoring process for maybe being 30 minutes late or what have you. And then from there, we'll have applicants will be contacted to be scheduled interviews. You can see here, ultimately, a few days after the submittal of your application. And these candidate interviews will take place with previous Leadership Fayette participants. And really, this isn't a job interview or it's not as stringent as that. But at the same time, it is something we do take serious. And the whole idea is we just want to really understand and hear from you your rationale for wanting to participate in Leadership Fayette, what you feel that you bring to the table, what you hope to take away, and ultimately how you can better support and contribute to Fayette County as an alum. Following those interviews, we will then have the candidate selection notification. You'll note tuition is due by the end of June. And then if there's a wait list, we'll have a notification built in there. And then ultimately, we have a class meet and greet scheduled for July 15th. Uh, the asterisk is ultimately to note that this is a tentative date at the moment, but certainly something that we're working towards. And this class meet and greet will be where you will have an opportunity to come together with the other men and women that have been accepted into the Leadership Fayette program. You'll also have the opportunity to meet other alums. And so it'll be your first kind of networking foray into the Leadership Fayette program and the Leadership Fayette family, of which the orientation class day number 1 is August 12th. This is a mandatory class day. We certainly understand if there's some things that are underway that you have no control over, life-changing things such as maybe the birth of a baby, or maybe if there was uh, plans to have to take a child to college, or maybe you've got travel plans abroad, but something that certainly cannot be moved. We understand that, but generally we ask that every effort be made to make that class orientation day 1. So the class schedule, as we touched on it, this takes place over the period of almost a year, with starting with the July 15th class meet and greet reception. But then from there, we kick off with our orientation program. You will notice that most of these dates tend to be the second Tuesday of the month. And so that will be something you'll certainly want to check your calendar and make sure that you can make those days, and that you need to be out of the office. If you have to get approval from a senior person, supervisor, certainly making sure that they acknowledge that they understand that you will be out of the office on those days. There are times where we understand things come up, and so there typically is one excused absence, which if there is a absence, there's then a makeup assignment that is given, which ultimately is something that tends to tie into that program day. So for instance, if you were to miss Economic Development Day, that we might suggest perhaps you attend the Development Authority Board meeting, which is a public meeting. Or maybe should you miss the day at the Capitol, then we might suggest that maybe you attend a city council meeting or a board of commission meeting. Or if you miss Education Day, maybe you attend a Board of Ed meeting, and then you be charged with writing your observation and maybe just experience your takeaway from participating in those meetings. But you can see here, we cover topics related to economic development, housing and sustainability, workforce and education, community connections, which pertains to our nonprofits, health and community wellness, the day at the Capitol, law enforcement, and then the retreat. That is one change this year. As opposed to the previous years, we would do the overnight stay in August. This year, we're going to do it at the end. And so this will be something you will certainly want to make sure you have on your respective calendars. So just again, to answer some basic and frequently asked questions. Again, attendance requirements. This is something that, again, to gain the maximum uh, benefit For both you and your classmates, we strongly encourage your attendance. Again, there's typically one absence that you are allowed. And ultimately, if you know you have a schedule that requires a lot of travel, that's up and down, then certainly this may be something you want to give second thoughts to your participation, or maybe you participate when you know that you've got a schedule that's a little bit perhaps more fixed. The class meet and greet, just an opportunity for you to be able to meet your classmates, other alums. We touched on the selection process, which the selection process ultimately is, again, your meeting with some of your professional peers, but more so people that have participated in the Leadership Fayette program in years past, where they just want to better gain what you hope to glean from the program, as well as what you bring to the table also. The application submittal, again, it's due on May 16th by close of business. And then there's always a graduation in the spring. And also you will have some a community project. That is one of the things that also comes out of Community Day. We will have a handful of nonprofits within the community that will submit assignments or maybe tasks or initiatives that they need assistance on. And so one of the ways in which we help you to start immediately giving back is by getting in a small group and helping a nonprofit further their mission by assisting them on a particular project, task, program, or what have you. Um, One of the new things we've started that's not here as well is an opportunity to stay engaged once you finish the program. And so we have a Leadership Fayette alumni program, which this allows you to participate in a number of ways, whether that be on a program committee, helping to plan one of the program days. Maybe it's to help provide guidance, help us with guidance as we organize and orchestrate the program in its entirety. Or maybe it's just you attending our quarterly leadership breakfasts. But ultimately, the alumni program allows you to remain engaged with your classmates as well as previous alumni once you have completed this 8-month program. So I hope this has better informed you as to the benefits of Leadership Fayette, why you should participate or why you should nominate someone. Again, we want to thank our program sponsors and Panasonic Automotive, Coweta Fayette MC, and Georgia Power, and certainly encourage you to visit our website at fayettechamber.org. And immediately right at the top of the home page is the Leadership Fayette program button where you can click on that. You can find the application to download, as well as other important dates, frequently asked questions. And again, if there's any other questions that perhaps I didn't answer here that are still not clear on the website, I invite you to email Soretta Bean. That is Soretta at fayettechamber.org. Again, thank you and have a great Fayette County day.